Australian cattle are heading to Indonesia again. Two companies have been granted export permits since the ban was lifted a month ago. The first shipment of animals is leaving Darwin today. Luke Bowen is the Executive Director of the Northern Territory Cattlemen's Association, and he joins me now dockside in Darwin. So Luke Bowen, you must be pleased that trade is getting underway again. How many cattle are heading to Indonesia today?
Yeah, Ros, in this first shipment, we've got 3,000 head of cattle. Now, these cattle that were caught when the music stopped a couple of months ago when the suspension was called. So it's really only relieving a little bit of pressure in some depot yards here around Darwin. We still have a 200,000 head of cattle which are still in the production system, down on properties, not moving. We have the wet season very fast approaching. It's a veil which falls upon Northern Australia later in the year. So we've got a lot of catching up to do, which effectively won't happen this year. We've got a huge cash drought across Northern Australia. The income simply hasn't been flowing into the industry. But this is the first very tentative but early step on a road to recovery, and psychologically it's a good move.
But why has it taken so long to get these live cattle exports going if the ban was lifted a month ago?
Yeah, look, it's the system which is being implemented in Indonesia, which will be applied worldwide to the live export trade, is a quality assurance system. So it's a supply chain management system which allows us to track the animals right the way through from the disembarkation in Indonesia, in this case, all the way through to the abattoirs at the end of the chain in Indonesia. Now, this is a system that can guarantee that we can track each animal through the system, and if there are any transgressions or the system is not working, we'll know why and we'll know to what extent. It'll be independently audited, and getting that system in place, getting it documented. Systems up there have already been operating for many years and operating very well, but it's actually documenting those systems. The exporters now carry the obligation of delivering that supply chain assurance. Australia can't mandate in Indonesia, so clearly it's a sovereign country. We can't go in there as a policeman and say this is what has to happen. It's being implemented through the export permit process, and it's a change in thinking. It's a change in practice which will take time it has taken time to document. So those first few export licences have been based on achieving that. We now have the system just starting to move, and we hope that we can get the maximum number of cattle into Indonesia before the wet season to relieve some of the pressure across Northern Australia. Our rangelands simply don't carry the cattle if we can't get rid of them. The cash hasn't flown into the system. We have a real cash drought at the moment.
Luke Bowen, thank you.